Listen, sometimes you don't need all the bells and whistles, right? You just need something that is going to be functional. And that's exactly what they did with this one right here. This is the Campsite Reserve 19KR. Now, this is a toy hauler, but it can really be used in a lot of different ways. It's not gonna be a toy hauler in your traditional sense where you have like a fuel station, where you have like an onboard generator. It's more of a travel trailer that you can use to haul things. The thing I really like about this one though is going to be the weight. I mean, 26 foot long. This is under 5,000 pounds with a 2,700 pound carrying capacity. So that's perfect for a toy hauler, right? That's exactly what you want. Something light that you can load up with a lot of weight. And that's what this one does well. The layout as well, I think, is pretty darn good. We can enter right into here. And as I'm sure you would expect, right, this is basically a big open floor plan. You have your bed up front, side aisle bath, and then as we go back, boom, it is just open. Again, no bells and whistles, right? We don't have a drop-down bunk, right? We don't have a super high ceiling in here. What we have is a big open space with a kitchen, with a bathroom, with a bed, with a tailgate that, yes, has our party deck on there, all at a very reasonable and affordable price point. And that's really where I think this one shines, right? Like I said, it doesn't have to blow me away with bells and whistles. It has what I need. It has what I want, which is function in a toy hauler. So let's get into a few sizes, right? So I did a few measurements. So if we take a look, I'll kind of step out on the party deck here. If we take a look at the space, you will see that on the left side, basically the thing that's going to hold us back is going to be this door right here. So from our tailgate here, or our beaver tail, to the door is about 8 foot. However, from here, if we look at the right side and go all the way up, you have about 16 foot to that bed. So, you know, if you have kayaks, if you have motorcycles, you have a quad, you have a golf cart that doesn't have a top on it, this is a perfect hauler for you. Heck, even if you don't have all those toys, but you just want wide open space and a party deck, again, this is a great option. The other thing I really like about this one is the seating. And the reason I say that is you have these like Euro style seats. These are going to swivel, they recline, and you can move them anywhere you want. You know, yes, there's a pop-up table right here, so it kind of makes sense for them here. But if you want to spin them both around and have them be able to watch the TV that's on an articulating mount, you can do that, right? Because again, everything is fully movable. And of course, they wouldn't sit here, during transport. The table drops down, these go up front, they tie down right up there. As for the kitchen, it's fully functional. You have 2 electrical outlets in back. You have thermoformed countertops on here. Comes with a cutting board, drying rack. You get the glass rinser. You will also get this, what I like to call the fancy faucet. So you have like the sprayers on this side right here. So if you have it like this, it's like a waterfall spray. Otherwise, you have your standard head here. So if it's like this, you're just getting your standard. So depending on the orientation will depend on basically how it functions as a faucet, which is kind of cool. Any good kitchen has to have a couple of drawers. You have 2 here. Another thing I do really like about the Campsite Reserve is that it comes with a water filter, a whole house water filter. And that is, again, that's not what I would call a bell and whistle. I'd call that almost a necessity, because if it didn't come with it, I'd have to buy one. But they did it for me straight from the factory. You also have space for a small trash can right there. You can see that you get a convection microwave oven. And yes, that doubles as an air fryer. If you haven't used an air fryer, you're missing out. Air fryers are fantastic. One of my favorite ways to cook vegetables, cook proteins, and now I've seen them in more and more RVs, Campsite being one of them. Definitely get on board with that game. Another thing I do want to mention, I missed this earlier, but going outside, you do have the, I guess I'll call it 3-season screen right here, right? So you can drop this down to be able to keep out rain and the elements, but there is a screen on there too. So if you want a breeze coming through, you can close this, still have the breeze without all of the bugs. And it is a center zipper, so it's easy to get in and out of there as well. But back to the kitchen, you'll also see that you have a huge window right here. That lets in so much natural light. Then you have like this light box up top that I like, and it has these hooks. So whether you want to hang mugs from there, or if you want to, as my friend Trish says, be a little more maximalist, you can hang like, cast iron pots and pans, all sorts of things from there, be able to decorate this however you want. Over to the side is going to be the fridge freezer. Open that one up just to kind of give you an idea of space here. As you can see, pretty good space there. This one I believe is 12 volt. Let me check here. Yes, yep, that is going to be a 12-volt fridge freezer there. So that way that will just run off your batteries. You'll also see that this one, if on a hot day like today, if you want to run AC, you can do so, assuming that you have shore power. Otherwise, you're going to need a portable generator. But you also have this guy right here. You have a 14-inch fan, does a great job of moving the air. And of course, that is right above the cooktop. So if you need to get some smells out of here, it'll do a good job of that as well. I also do want to point out that you have plenty of outlets all the way throughout. You have outlet and USB right here. You also have another 110 right over there. You get a pantry, right? Because not only do you have your cold storage, you're going to need some dry goods too. If you're like me and you eat a lot, well, you need spots for that food, and that's where it's going to be. This is on an articulating mount, the TV. So as I mentioned, you can essentially turn it, right toward here and be able to watch it from those seats. But you can also spin it the other way and be able to watch it from from the bed. So you do have a few different options. I think it was pretty smart to kind of mount that in the center to be able to do that. Another thing that I love is going to be right behind me here. Take a look at the windows on the campsite. This whole side is windows. I mean, I guess I do have the lights on in here, but it is extremely bright because you have so many windows in this coach, which I like. I say this all the time. I'm like a Sim character. I don't know if you remember that game, but the Sims really liked light, and I'm very much the same way. As we take a look at the bathroom here, let me show you. You're going to have your toilet right down underneath. This is a porcelain bowl. This is one of those things that they probably didn't have to do, right? Again, being a more affordable, they could have went with plastic, but I personally really like the porcelain just because it stays looking nice so much longer, so much easier to clean. You have your sink top there, storage over to this side. Yes, this one does have a tankless water heater. That is a Suburban. You have a 2-piece shower, so you have the shower pan and then a 1-piece surround. You can see, whoop, there it is, your faucet right over here to the side. Mirrored medicine cabinet in here as well. But I just want to stand in the shower to show you. So with the skylight, I can stand all the way up. Without it though, I don't know if I can see, at 6 foot tall, I am hitting right here. So you do need to stand in the skylight. Luckily, the skylight spans basically the entire shower, so it's really not a problem. You can't be much taller, maybe 6'1", you could still stand up in here, but if you're much taller than that, you're gonna have a problem. Once again, I do like this. Another max air fan in the bathroom. Again, even though this doesn't have all the bells and whistles, this is awesome. Not only does this help with like mold mitigation, right? Because it's not gonna be wet in here, but also, for obvious reasons, if you need to get something, some smells or something out of here, that's going to be the trick. You can see right behind me is going to be the mirrored medicine cabinet there too. Now, if we flip this back around, I just want to show you the bed is going to be right up front. As you can see, you have the night table, geez, oh Pete's, nightstand on one side here, and this one has your inverted outlet. The reason I like this, and Campsite does this in basically all of their travel trailers, as well as fifth wheels and destination trailers, is they give you that inverted outlet. And because most manufacturers, it's like an option, right? Like you have to get the inverter. But with this, I'm a CPAP user. I have to sleep with one. So it doesn't matter where I'm at. I don't have to have shore power. I can still plug into that and be able to run my CPAP, which is good. I can actually get some sleep. Otherwise, I'm grumpy. You'll see right across the top, you have some additional storage as well as wardrobe storage right over to the side here. The other thing I do want to show you is if you take a look at the back side of the bed, there is going to be a shelf there. And if we lift this up, yes, you do get storage underneath the bed here as well. But as you know, right, with a toy hauler, it's not just about what you have inside, it's going to be outside too. The biggest thing on this one, in my opinion, is the fact that you get the 2,700 pound carrying capacity. So again, you can load this thing up and still be absolutely fine. But if we take a look kind of right up front, a few different things I want to point out. One of them is going to be the power tongue jack, making it nice and easy to hook up and disconnect from your vehicle there. Of course, 20-pound propane tanks, batteries, and the diamond plating like you would expect. You'll also see that you have the metal front here. It's going to be nice and smooth, easy to clean, and you get what they call like the retro style siding here. This is going to be thicker, right? It's a thicker aluminum. It's a better aluminum than your standard siding on an RV. So again, even though there's not all the bells and whistles, you're still getting a well-constructed RV. You can see you have some hanging spaces to hang things right there, some more space underneath. 30 amp solar charge controller, so that way, you know, kind of trickle charge the battery with the solar capability. Down underneath is going to be your power stabilizer jacks. Yes, that is a spare tire. It was inside. I took it out because, well, it was just not where I wanted it. So it's currently sitting right there. You'll also see the propane quick connect. So if you have like a Blackstone or something like that you want to hook up, it is nice and easy to do so. Of course, we have a few vents, one right up there, one in the back, just like you would expect. Outside speakers as well as TV hook up here too. But again, look at the windows, man. Gorgeous windows, nice and big. They have like the silver reflective tint on there too. They look really sharp. Dropping down underneath here, I do just want to point out the tires. You will see that not only is this lifted, you have the nice aggressive tires on there, and you get the upgraded suspension system. You can see that the gosh, what they call it, the Ultralight, I believe it is. But that's a nice upgraded suspension system. Which, you know, again, we're talking about hauling toys. You don't want that thing to be bouncing around in there. I mean, yes, you have the tie downs. It's going to stay where it is. But like, you know, that again, that's just one of those things, was that even though it doesn't have the bells and whistles, they have the things that count. I think this is a fantastic toy hauler. Again, at just under 5,000 pounds, 2,700 cargo carrying capacity. It has everything you need. It doesn't have a bunch of stuff that you don't. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to know price and availability, there will be a link in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see you.